color. We are ready to party.
They're classy too, man. I can wear this on a date.
People who are most successful are the ones who don't just give up.
We have officially partnered up with Albemarle Paper Supply. Albemarle Paper Supply services paper products within the cities of Charlotte, Concord, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Salisbury, Morrisville, and smaller cities in between. From fiber, plastic, and foam bowls, paper towels, tissues, napkins, takeout containers, gloves, to janitorial supplies, and much, much more, Albemarle Paper is dedicated to bring you the paper goods you need. Customers can pick up products directly at Albemarle Paper's warehouse located at 735 Henson Street in Albemarle, North Carolina, or products can be delivered to you at your business doorstep. At your business doorstep. At your business doorstep is Top Bin 90. At your business doorstep is Lee from CLTFC Fan TV. At your business doorstep is Brian. Welcome, boys, to another episode of the MLS Corner, the best corner in all of MLS. What a strange week we had last week leading into Montreal. What an exciting week we have this week leading into Texas. We're playing Austin, and we're also playing Houston Dynamo. Lee, my man, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling great, especially after seeing SpongeBob, man. That made my night, man.
Nice.
Before we go, and we got to give a shout out to shipping department. We love the shipping department around here. So,
yes, sir. The best shipping department in everywhere.
100%.
My man Brian, how are you today, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Rocking my new Father's Day gift for my wife. Football is life. A shout out to Ted Lasso, the show, for any of you Ted Lasso fans out there.
Jorge loves Ted Lasso. Yeah. He loves that show. Like he wouldn't shut up about it. I'm glad that they didn't come out with another episode yet.
All right, I gotta let y'all know, and I'm gonna get hate for this. I've never watched the show, and I've never watched the show because the concept behind it, I just couldn't get behind. You know, where like someone who doesn't know. Oh, it's gonna be a good show,
man. I got me a new button.
You did get your new. You did get a new button, bro. Everybody and their mom loves Ted Lasso.
It's
you gotta believe, show. Man. You gotta believe, bro.
Bro, I believe. I don't need to watch it. Either way, let's get into it. What an interesting week we had last Saturday with Charlotte FC's match against Montreal. You know, we popped off and said that there was a little bit of rumblings during the week, you know, that, you know, some players may be missing. But then we got confirmation on Saturday morning that over 10 players are going to be missing, and a lot of those guys starters, you know, and I think our expectations changed really in terms of what we could actually do in this game. And I mean, let's get right to it then. Charlotte FC lost to Montreal 2-1. Honestly, that game was a snooze fest for most of it. God, it was a very boring game.
Hard to watch.
But, I mean, what can we make of this loss, guys? I mean, missing 10 players in the squad. You know, we had no wingers. There was 3 MLS debutants this weekend. I mean, what do you guys make of this loss? And I'll start off with you, Lee. And I want to hear from people in the comments too.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like we could have won the game, right? I mean, the only thing that I was kind of upset about really was I don't think Carroll played very well. You know, we only had like 4 shots attempts, and I think only 2 of them were on goal. I mean, you know, that top third of the game was completely missing, in my opinion, for the majority of the game, at least. You know, then we got to see, like you mentioned, we got to see some players, right, come on that hasn't played or started. You know, I thought when what's his name, Chris Haggard, come on, man, he did really good. You know, it livened up the game. Maybe we had put him on maybe that second half earlier, we might have been better off. But again, we came out flat. They scored early. And then the same thing on the second half. We came out slow and they scored. And that seems to be our new MO as of late.
100%. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. We looked flat with I think Carol Sodersi was dropping back way too much, man. I mean, games like
there was nothing going on that side of the pitch, though, really, right? So if you wanted to be involved, you kind of had to come back.
right, but look who was at the end of Anton Walks' cross this week. It was Corujo, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Corujo, somebody said it, man. He's quickly becoming the guy for Charlotte FC.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a couple of weeks, man. That man is definitely gonna become my favorite. I can feel it.
100%. Brian, your thoughts on the game? What can we make of this game?
Oh, I mean, I think it's just move on to the next week. I mean, this is not what Charlotte FC is going to be week in and week out, right? We're missing so many players that what we presented on that field was not actually what we're going to see from Charlotte FC. I think what we take away from it is that they were willing to still fight. I thought it was weird that Swiderski was lined up in more like a left wing, left mid role because it looked like they were kind of doing a 4-2-3-1, which I thought was different. But I also don't necessarily mind that because, I mean, not necessarily that Swiderski's out there on the left. I mind that because I'd rather him be up top. But I don't mind that Lattanzia is willing to kind of switch it up depending on who he's got available personnel-wise and willing to do double pivots and single pivots, whereas Mars seemed to just be like, it's a single pivot, full stop. So I didn't mind that. I do wish Alcivar and Swiderski specifically showed up a little. I feel like this was a game for both of them to really be like, hey, we're like the only guys that have been regular players on this front line right now. And it's time for us to show up. And in my opinion, I don't think really either of them did. And that was my biggest concern from the match, was just that we kind of have seen that issue specifically of late from Carroll of just not being able to kind of show up in those big moments.
Right.
Granted, he's been on international duty, but I mean, I was actually thinking about it recently. I mean,
don't forget
right. So like he's there. That's where I'm feeling like it's starting to be a form thing, and it's like a mental thing. I mean, you can just see like Shinya Shiki misses the ball. And it still just like finds a way in. Like he misses his goal, like misses it completely. And I think it's just that's the mentality where he's at. Is just like he can make major mistakes and still find the net. And Carroll's just in the spot right now that is just like even if it falls from in the 6-yard box, which it hadn't been happening for weeks, and it's like right there for him, and he puts it right at like the one spot to not put it at in that shot. And I think for me, it's definitely starting to become like a concern. Like I've been like giving him a lot of grace. And I think all of us have and probably should have because he shows serious talent, but I don't know.
I agree with you, man, especially if he's our DP player, right? DP is supposed to make the difference, right? And I mean that, first of all, the cross that as soon as Hagar came in, all our set pieces looked dangerous. Because somebody said it, Jordi Alcivar had a very, very off game. I think a lot of players had an off game, man. And one of the things that was very Mart-esque was, players would get the ball and instead of trying to move it forward, they would go and pass back. And I'm like, come on, bro, we gotta move in transition. We gotta move the ball up quick if we want to get a result here. And we were still doing it when we're down 1-0. And so, I agree with you in terms of Karol Swiderski. He's gonna start having to deliver a little bit more. Especially when you got opportunities like the one he missed, right? Like where you're right there in front of the goal and it goes out. I don't know. I think now I count, and correct me if I'm wrong, somebody in the comments section. We've had like 4 clear misses, right? Like we've had Karol Swiderski. We've had Mackenzie Gaines against Colorado. We've had Shinya Shiki against Columbus Crew. We've had that Alan Franco one that like he was like all by himself and he just shot it up as well.
On the ball.
So
and Rios against Cincinnati as well, or was it Columbus? Rios missed one, right?
Rios missed one against New York as well. I mean, we ended up winning 2-0, but we had a couple like 1v1s. Mackenzie set Rios right in, and then he also set Shinyashiki right in too.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Which those turned into wins, but
Yeah.
I don't remember the Alan Franco one who it was against, but that might have been into it.
I think that was against Montreal as well, actually. I think that was when we put. I think it was.
So that's like 4 different games where we could have got a result if we finished some very clear opportunities as well.
I shoot him straight at the keeper though. It's like, come on, you know, place it in the corner or something.
Yeah,
we need more shooting practice.
Right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see though, right? I mean, to Carroll's defense, I guess I'll say, I mean, we haven't had the full team, right? I'm ready to see our actual like starting 11 start and actually play a game or two together and see what we really made of, you know.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's been like 2 months since they've been together, I think, right? At this point with the international.
I don't think I would say I would even go one step further and say our true starting 11 hasn't played together yet, right?
Yeah. I mean, how many times this season have we seen our 2 DPs together? Once or twice.
And that was only for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like late sub or something.
It was, no, Miami. I think they both start in Miami. I guess Miami.
I'd have to go back and look.
Season's getting too long, man.
It is. Like before I can remember everything, I'm like, you know. So nice. I also want to talk about some of the players that made their debut this weekend. And first, I'll start off with a clip of one player that came on, Quinn Mcneil. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and I'm dropping the full interview tomorrow. But this is what he had to say. Tell us about your debut.
I was just anticipating the experience as a whole. I went on the trip just knowing that there was always a chance I could go in. And when I went to go warm up the second half, I really just, mentally prepared for that moment. And then when they called me, I didn't really have too much time to think. It was shin guards on, jersey on, then stepping on the field. So really just enjoyed it when I got out there, not too nervous, but it wasn't the result we wanted, but it was a great experience as a whole.
Gotcha. Were you a little anxious? Were you just, okay, like we're ready to go? How was it?
I think the nerves were mainly before I got on the field, just thinking about it in anticipation of it. But really once I got that call from them down the sideline, get ready, put your stuff on, it kind of all went away. It felt like prepared for the moment. So really it wasn't too anxious. It was really the build up to the moment before, not actually when it happened.
Quinn Mcneil, George Marks, and Koa Sanchez all made their official MLS debut against Montreal. And I want to kind of talk about these guys, man. Tell me a little bit your thoughts. And I'll start off with you, Brian, and everybody in the comment section as well. What did we make of some of these younger players that we have?
Yeah, I think Quinn Mcneil made like he came out with some energy, similar to how Chris Haggard did when he came out in off the bench. I feel like he was sort of set out there to be like a little bit more of an off-ball runner, because it seemed like right out of the gate he started making a decent amount of runs off the ball, trying to get into space, into attack. And also when he was on the ball, it didn't seem like the moment was too big for him, which was a really good surprise. I think Chris, we've already seen play, and like it doesn't seem like the moment's too big for him when he gets his opportunity. Like his dribbling ability is fantastic.
Phenomenal.
And then but I think Quinn Mcneil just looked like he was ready to show out. Like, I mean, he looked really ready to go when he came in. I was really surprised that he was given I think, was he the first sub? He might have been the first sub. No, Christian Fuchs was. I think Fuchs came in earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that he got that many minutes, I was kind of surprised that he was given that shot. But
it was unlucky too, because they're right there towards the end. I think the last 10 minutes, it was a good pass. And if his touch had been a little softer, he would probably got a shot on at least.
Yeah, he was in on, and so I think he showed a lot of promise.
Yeah, for sure. You could definitely tell though it was a little you could tell a little bit of the inexperience in some of the plays he made, and so I think that ball Haggard sent to him was if he could have controlled that better, that could have been a great 1v1 opportunity against the goalkeeper as well. Yep. And so I agree with you. I think Quinn did well. I think Marks as well did well. I mean, his distribution is really good. I like George Marks' distribution, and he looked calm, and I think we really
great keeper.
Yeah, he is. I mean, to be in the third draft pick, right? Usually after the first, second, and third don't even make the team. I mean, you saw with Kyle Holcomb, he really didn't make the team. And to go from being the third MLS draft pick, super draft pick, to or third round super draft pick to being second behind Kalina, that's huge praise, because we brought in Zendejas, we brought in Cisniega. And like we said to this game, we really can't blame him for the goals that got scored on him. And I think he's a good, solid second keeper behind Kalina.
100%.
Nice. Anything you guys want to add, maybe on Koa Santos or anything else?
I just think Santos didn't have a very good game, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he's looked really good at Independence, and I think the issue. I mean, part of it was just he was playing in a position that probably wasn't his natural position, and it seems like he's a little bit more of a wing back than like a straight up right winger, which is kind of where they had him. And I think also being thrown into a lineup and then being asked to like kind of be one of like the main attacking threats right out of the gate like that at a level up, is a big ask. Even though he's definitely showed some glimpses at Independence, but I think it's just gonna take a little bit more time.
Right, 100%. I agree with that. And I also think, he didn't make his debut, but we've talked about him enough already. Or Chris Hagar. He came in and you could tell, he did more in his first 2 minutes on the pitch than Jordi Alcivar did the whole game.
Yep.
The ball he put into Quinn, the corner he gave to Karol Swiderski for his misses. Every time, like I said earlier, he was on set pieces. He looked a dangerous player. And I'm like, that's exactly what we need. We need somebody. Before Jordy went off, do you remember his last corner kick? It went.
The game needed Chris to come on. He should have came on earlier. He definitely livened it up, and I think it just missed that sort of somebody to kind of run and actually give Charlotte a spark. Other than that, it was pretty lackluster.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. And what do you guys think? Would you keep Chris Hagar around this first team, or let him continue to that short-term deal that he recently signed at Independence and let him continue playing there?
Are you going to give the man any minutes or not, right? If you're not even going to let him sub in, then even if it was for 10 minutes a game, right? I would just loan him out. What's the point?
Yeah, I'd rather him get minutes. And, so I'm kind of anticipating we do end up getting an attacking midfielder during the summer transfer window. Because if we don't, it's just going to be a long, long second half. I think we definitely need an attacking midfielder. And I think that takes up a lot more of the minutes that Hagar could even get as a sub at that point. So I think I would rather him be loaned out because I definitely want him on the field regularly. Because, dude, he has some serious skills, like serious natural, just like, we were talking about that earlier, Jorge. I feel like sometimes with the way he dribbles, it's just like he's playing chess and other players are playing checkers. It's like a different level I feel like he possesses with his ball skills. And I just want to make sure he gets minutes and keeps staying fresh. So when he gets a chance at the first team, it's like it's a full go.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I would try and get him around that first team because I think he has, to me, in preseason, I saw enough from him and Bender. I was like, these are the young guys that I would project, getting some solid minutes. Unfortunately, he had his meniscus surgery and missed a lot, right? But, you're right as well. With maybe Charlotte potentially adding an attacking midfielder, that would really decrease his minutes. And, another thing, though, is Alan Franco left. I know it's not the same profile of player, but, that also frees up another midfield position, right? Yeah. And then I just wanted quickly on everyone's thoughts on his departure in the comments. And you, Lee and Brian, what did you make of Alan Franco leaving Charlotte FC? Because in my opinion, I was in the minority where I rated him. I loved his aggression. I think he provided both offensively and defensively, right? He understood Mar's style of play, right? Which, we definitely have a different coach, but he understands what we're trying to play in terms of creating that possession-based attacking football that we talk about.
Yeah, I think he was getting better for Charlotte, definitely. But I feel like he was a Mars boy, right? And that basically probably sealed the deal for him, regardless. So I either way, right? I mean, as long as we get somebody in that has the same sort of caliber or better, I think we'll be okay. Like you said, we need an attacking midfielder, something bad, and hopefully, July 7th when the window opens, we can get somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think. I think I'm a big proponent of not trying to force players to stay in a situation where they don't want to be there. And it really sounded like he just no longer wanted to be a part of it, And I think at that point, it's a full stop. You just got to send him. I did like. I mean, I was in the minority as well. Jorge, I was a big fan of him right out of the gate because that very first goal that we scored when Adam Warmer headed in the corner. Everybody was kind of like cheering the tie, cheering the first goal, together. And him and Carujo were like the main two to like grab the ball, get to the middle, let's get the win. And I like from then on, I was kind of just a big fan of him, just because like that was like the mentality that he displayed to me right out of the gate. And so like that's just like the one big moment of him that just like it kind of just sticks. Which is like, yeah, he's like he's one of those players that wants to go for it. And I appreciated that out of him. And I feel like he used, even like when his games weren't great, he always kind of showed that personality of like going after people.
100%. This is a good point Pietro makes as well. He left because he wants to play in World Cup and he's more of time. Like, honestly, yeah, that makes sense too. Like, Ecuador's about to go into a World Cup. You're in a situation now where you don't know if this coach is actually going to play you or not, right? So, hey, he found an opportunity. And I was curious myself why he actually left. Was it more of a mutual decision? Was it the front office didn't like him? Was it Latanzio that didn't like him? Was it him not wanting to play? But I feel like it's a little bit of both, Him knowing that now that Mars is gone, maybe his playing time is going to decrease. And maybe the front office and people that, make the decisions didn't really rate him, right? I mean, after all, he came here on a loan, right?
Yeah.
So, perfect. All right.
He left on the loan too, right? I mean, he's like double loaned.
Yeah.
Yeah, his loan got recalled, and then he.
Somebody wasn't making payments.
Nice, cool, awesome. So now that we've got Montreal out of the way, the big one's coming this week. I know Lee and I are excited to play Austin FC.
This was the one we were looking at when the schedule was released. This is the one.
100%. I mean, Austin, who their first season ended second to last in the West. This season, I mean, Drusi, as the Austin boys like to call him, Drusi Dior, has really changed up that team, man. I mean, he's probably a candidate for MLS Player of the Year, So I kind of wanted your guys' thoughts on this game. But before we get into that, I actually had a chance to speak with Mackenzie Gaines, a player that, started his season last year in an expansion team with Austin FC, a Austin local boy, Honestly, from what I hear, the fan base really, really loved Mackenzie, and the only goal that he scored, I think, last year was actually when Miguel was actually there, and that was one of the reasons, like, I guess Miguel saw him and liked him enough that he got picked up in this expansion draft. But a lot of Austin fans were surprised that they let him go, right? That they did not protect him, right? And so it was really interesting. The whole dynamic of me speaking to him, one of the first things he said was like, as soon as I got drafted to Charlotte FC, one of the things I looked at is when we're going to play Austin. And I'm like, oh man, he has something to prove to this team. So it's exciting for us, but I know if he gets an opportunity to play, it's going to be a very, very exciting game for him.
Yeah.
Nice. And I guess let's talk a little bit about this game. What do you guys make of this? I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is coming out with high energy right? Imposing our game, which I think actually Austin will allow us to do. They seem like a more of a counter-attacking team. So I think we actually will have another opportunity to kind of like impose our will, impose our possession, similar to like how we want to play anyways. And I think that can easily like whereas on the road, oftentimes that ends up falling apart for us, like against the Union, where we make a lot of mistakes at the back. I feel like at home, it's just a different story when we have that opportunity to impose and press and play our game. And so I think that's something we're going to be able to do a decent amount still in Austin. I know a lot of their stats and their improvement this season has been pretty incredible. Year one, year two. But
what has stood out the most in terms of their improvement from virtually, I mean, the worst team in the West to now I think they're third or fourth in the West.
Oh, I mean, I think the signing of Drusy in the summer is a huge part of that, right? I think just getting that like playmaker, which really sets MLS teams apart. If you have a playmaker, you kind of become a playoff team almost by default because there's a lot of teams in the MLS that don't have that, right? And so I think them hitting on that in the summer, him getting an extra 6 months, and this whole team kind of getting a sense to gel with a player that they can really count on to show up game in and game out is a huge part of that. I also think Brad Stuver, I was looking through a lot of the like potential all-star picks, and actually their goalkeeper, I haven't like heard a lot about him, but his stats are actually pretty solid. So I think that's another thing that maybe keep an eye on is he seems to be having like a pretty career year, and looks like one of the top goalkeepers right now.
He was good last year. He's kind of like how we are with Kalina. Like last year, was like Austin counted on him a lot.
Yeah,
and, you know, it just kind of reminds me of how we started out. But you know, I mean, Drusy's got what, like 9 goals this year already, right? I mean, he's firing, man. So that's going to be a player that we definitely going to have to try to lock down. You know, and with it being Austin, right? We entered the league together. We just decided to sit back a year versus them going ahead and started. So that technically, they're I would consider them like almost like a rivalry, right? Just because of the way we came into the league together, or should have came in together.
Yeah. And I think we've done something also that Austin did really well their first season, man, is like the fan base is pretty legit, you know? Like they're sold out every game. I mean, we average.
I mean, it's only a 20,000 seater though. I mean, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Probably Matthew McConaughey, whatever his name is, buys half those tickets.
Nice. But yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be important during this season. There's laps that we've had of not concentrated that have really killed us. And I think with a team like Austin, especially with a playmaker like Drusy, that could really he puts in a killer pass to Ruti. I mean, it can easily be 1-0, right? So no matter how much possession we have. So it's going to be a very interesting game in terms of how we actually handle it. And I think there's more pressure on us this game because, you know, if we don't win this game, it's really going to start looking very difficult for us to actually make the playoffs, right? So the more games,
we won't get the end of it either from their fans, man. So, you know, that's a whole nother thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I just hate it was on a Thursday night though, man. So those Austin boys could have came into town.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good point too. We want to see a different body language. Yeah, I think the game against Montreal, we looked really lethargic. Like, you know, like the speed of play, just overall, right? And I'm like, you can't. If it's one thing to be missing 10 players, but like the 11 players that are on the field, they have to show it, right? That they want to be there. And I mean, Chris Hagar showed that he wanted to be there. Quinn, a lot of the subs that were made, right, actually changed the mood, the whole body language of the team.
Yeah, I feel Carroll kind of kickstarts that off though, man. He's always just pouting, you know, flopping a little bit now, starting to creep into his game, and it's just like, come on, dude, you know.
Yeah. I think it goes back to that whole like lack of a goal. I mean, I know that everybody talks about the little things he does, but I think as a striker, goals are the deal breakers for strikers. It's like, you know, it's the same with center backs tackling and things like that. It's just he needs a goal. He needs a goal desperately.
Right.
And I think that could change. I think really that could change the whole mentality. If he can get a goal early, I mean, it could change the whole mentality of everything. Just because he also is that kind of player in terms of like his energy is a go to really energy. I mean, you saw when he got his braces. I mean, when he scores, it changes things. Because they just like, oh, he's got us. He's leading us.
I'm just glad we got Austin at home, man. I mean, the Bank of America's come sort of a fortress, right? And
that's what I think we could beat anybody at home, right? Anyone in the MLS that comes to Charlotte, I think that 12th man, that the crowd is, the atmosphere, players are up for it. Like anyone that comes here, even Bale, if when we play them next year, if we do play them next year, LAFC, we could take anybody here at home. Away is a whole nother story though. And that's something that we'll touch on as well, like what we need to do to improve. But I also had a chance, like I mentioned earlier, to talk to Mackenzie Gaines, and I asked him a little bit about some fun questions. And one of the questions that I asked him was, who has the better food, Charlotte, North Carolina, or Austin, Texas? And before I play that clip, I want to see if you guys can actually nail it. So everyone in the comment section, tell me what city you think he chose, and you guys as well.
Oh, so when we bumped into him at the Independence game a couple of weeks back, and I asked him, and I mean, he basically just said like Charlotte's a better city, like totally hands down beats Austin and everything. So my answer to you is going to be Charlotte.
The better food in Charlotte. Okay.
Well, just everything in general, but since your question was about food, we're going to say better food in Charlotte.
All right. What about you, Brian? What do you think he said?
Man, I've heard good things about the food in Austin.
It's all lies.
Good things, but I've never been. So I have no. Man, I feel like he's gonna say Charlotte.
All right. So we said everyone in the comment section, Lexington, Wesley. Bro, I don't even think he's been to Lexington yet.
Got some barbecue.
Best barbecue in Charlotte. Yeah. Rock Hill has better food than Austin. All right, let's see what our boy said. Here long enough now. Who's got the better food, man? Austin or Charlotte?
I gotta go with Austin, man. I'm sorry. I'm a big Tex-Mex guy. So okay. Austin has a special place in my heart. You know. That's all the taco stands, the food trucks, Chewy's. I think Austin I think it takes.
Hold on, he said Chewy's. That's why you order like pet supplies from. What is this man doing? This man, he ain't got a clue, man.
Bro, he said Austin. First of all, I don't know who in the club is taking Mackenzie Gaines out, but y'all are doing a poor job of showing him the food scene here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I guess he's a big taco guy, and we have not taken him to the proper taco spots, and so he definitely said Austin. So that was kind of a heartbreak for me, They're closer to the border. Austin was obvious. If he's a big Tex-Mex guy, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's Tex-Mex for a reason, right? Got to get outside of Charlotte and try some food. Listen, I think we need to do like a trip with Mackenzie. Take him to
Applebee's or something.
Take him to Rock Hill. Chewy's is in Waverly, Charlotte. Guess. Yeah, I think we also need to take him to Southbound right there on. That's like more Mexicali though, right?
Still good food.
Nice. Yeah. All right, and then the second question. Which team has a better atmosphere? Is it Austin FC, who he played with, who, inaugural season, they sell out every week and they're 20,000 fans? Or is it Charlotte, North Carolina, where, we're record-breaking, MLS record breakers here, an average attendance of over 30,000 here? Who do you guys think he chose?
It's Charlotte without a doubt. Charlotte without a doubt.
Charlotte.
If he doesn't say Charlotte, man, if he doesn't say Charlotte, we're riding over there after the show.
Yeah, it's Charlotte 100%.
It's got to be Charlotte.
Charlotte, Cookout Drive-Through Diaries, Austin and CLT are probably the two best atmospheres out there. He knows he can get away with saying Austin for the food. He wouldn't risk that fan question. CLTFC. All right,
Charlotte.
so everyone's saying Charlotte. Let's see what McKenzie had to say.
Oh, it has to be a tie. I can't say that one's better than the other. Both are very, very special. And I think that I'm very spoiled to have come in the league and to have played at Austin. Obviously, I was a hometown kid there, so the fans really embraced me there. I think they've sold out every home game that they've had since they started playing there. So their atmosphere and their fans are really phenomenal. Like, it's pretty much as good as it gets. But then you come to Charlotte and we're playing in front of 70,000 for the first game, and we average pretty close to 30,000. The lower bowls always sold out. So, it's a tie. I think that as far as fan bases go, these are probably the two of the best in MLS. So I'm very, very lucky to have played in front of both of them.
That's bullshit, man. He cannot say it's a tie, man. Mackenzie, dude, what are you doing, man? That was such a politically correct answer, man.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like a real PC, bro.
Like Tyler said, the car, man. We're heading over there. We're going to Target. Maybe we'll
my man Gaines. Oh man. You know what though? Like no. In terms, if he was saying this about another fan base, maybe that wasn't as hype, but we all know, we've seen it. Like, Austin fans get hype. So he's an Austin boy.
They're not Charlotte though, man. They're not Charlotte. He's in Charlotte now as a Charlotte player. Charlotte has the best fans. I don't care. Don't care.
Dang,
I'll have a word with Mackenzie next time I see him, man. That's it, dude. That's it. I told him, man, when I asked him, he said Charlotte was best in everything, man. There was no better city. He wants to retire in Charlotte. Screw Austin is exactly what he said. Verbatim.
Those were his words based on you.
Yeah. That's the way I remember it anyways.
That's how he talks off the record.
Yeah.
Awfully.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know what? Like I said, I get it from his point. You know, he grew up in Austin.
We're not making excuses, Top Ben. We're Charlotte, man. Charlotte has the best fan base. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Leave it at that.
Hey, I agree. I think so too. I think we have the best.
I know, man. I feel like you're going back and forth, man. You're being a little wishy-washy on this one, Top Ben.
Bro, listen, I have to speculate a little bit. You know, it's been a while since I've speculated.
Right.
You know, like if he would have said something like New England, or like, you know, like he was coming from there and saw our fan base, then I would have been like, yeah, he's definitely captain. But you know what? I think this is the biggest fan base is the best ones that I've seen so far that I've liked are us, Austin, and I think LAFC's fan base is pretty like rocking too, the 3252. So
yeah.
But you know, McKenzie had a chance. And he said the food in Austin is better, and he said it's a tie between the fan bases in terms of atmospheres.
See, what's one got to say what he's saying, man?
Hey,
why, man? Whatever.
Right.
Shutting it down. I'm leaving. I'm hanging up.
Also, it should be noted too that, you know, we're definitely not only playing Austin this week, but we have Houston Dynamo to play. You know, so 2 back-to-back games, 2 games in pretty much 4 days, right? Are we gonna see a full strength Charlotte FC against Austin, or will we see a mixture of a team and then a mixture of a team in Houston? And I want everyone's thoughts in the comments as well.
Assuming that everybody's back and able to play, I would say at home for sure we're going to play the strongest team we can possibly play. I mean, going on the road, we can't win anyways, right? So, if we're going to make it a weaker team, why not just throw it against Houston? But I think we're going to sweep the Texas boys this weekend, man.
Yeah, I think they go, especially after like the last couple games with the the last couple of games with the draw and the loss, I think they absolutely go for it straight through the week. I mean, because then next week they don't have a game for another week, right? So they can rest up a little bit. But I think there's no way they don't go for it. I mean, this is a great opportunity in front of the fans to get a win over Austin, right? And then Houston presents a good opportunity to get some road points. So I think they should be looking at 4 to 6 points out of this week. And like you got to do that by going full strength. And it changes the whole character of the month. And this month is a great month for some points. So like I think they just go full stop the whole month. I'm saying full stop a lot. I got to change that.
Full stop.
Full stop. That's like my phrase of the day.
No, it's a picture of Mackenzie after he's been out eating some Tex-Mex, man. That's messed up, man. I'm so mad at Mackenzie right now.
The whole state of Texas last season didn't even make the playoffs. So
That's right. That's right.
A great opportunity for us.
It looked like the Austin Fan TV boys, man.
Nice, awesome. And then finally, we can't end the show without some score predictions. And we'll start off with the Austin game with you boys. What are we thinking?
2-1 us.
In the comment section as well.
2-1 us.
2-1 us. Who's scoring, Lee?
Fuchs and Guzman. Since our forwards can't score, so we'll go with the ones that are scoring.
All right.
As long as with 2 crosses for the assist.
As long as we have some solid set pieces, then I think so. But you know what? Coruja likes to go up top as well. At first, I thought it was.
He's gonna be our next attacking midfielder, man.
I thought it was Rios at first because of the hair, but now I was like, it's Coruja.
Yeah, we'll just put Fuchs and Walks at the back and put Coruja up top, man. It would be perfect.
For real. Brian.
I think we go get it, and it's like probably let's go 2-0.
Shutout?
Yeah, I think we shut them out.
You don't think Fusi scores?
Nope. Not at home. I think we got them at home. I think Carroll. I mean, I've been saying Carroll for a goal for like I think since I've come on the show, and so I got to keep going because he's got to score, man. I think that's just it. Once that dam opens with a full squad behind him and he gets back on the score sheet, I think it's like a huge change for Charlotte FC. So it's got to be this week. It's got to be against Austin. And I think McKenzie comes in off the bench and ices it in like the 85th.
Does he celebrate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Of course.
He lets Austin fans know how good Charlotte fans are at that moment. As he's saving
He's trying to redeem himself after that interview.
Yeah, that's one thing he did say. He is ready. He wants to win this game badly. More, I think, to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? And here's my score prediction. I think we're going to win 3-0. I think we destroy Austin this week.
Austin? Really?
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Look at you, man, going stepping out of that zone, man.
I'm always realistic. You always.
No, you're not.
I give a score prediction. I'm very realistic.
No, you're just a negative Nancy when we're on the road.
I'm mad when I say we're gonna lose. And what happened to both times that I said we were gonna lose?
Well, quit saying it. That's what we keep saying to you. Quit saying we're gonna lose, and we will. But no, man, you're gonna be over there like, oh, we're gonna lose this one 2-1, man, trying to be all right.
I think we're gonna dominate this game 3-0. Raderski scores. Rio scores, and McKenzie Gaines also scores. And you know what? Just goes over to the fan base like, yo, I love y'all. Take me to a better restaurant so I can tell y'all how good the food is.
What about the Houston game then? What's your prediction on the Houston game?
That's what we're going into next.
Oh, okay.
So first I wanted to hear Austin score. And then I'll answer this question for Wesley. It looks like a lot of the players are back, with the photos that they showed from training, with, some people that I've talked to. I think we'll have most of our squad back for that Austin game, which is a huge, huge bonus,
Yes. Yep, I agree.
Is Jorge running the VAR? Hopefully, if I run VAR, I'm going to definitely get y'all through.
I know. Where were you? Oh, you didn't run it this weekend, man.
Bro, I texted my boy. I was like, "Yo, give us that goal," and he was like, "Nah."
The one, could be in the opposite side as well.
Did the Tifo committee prepare the Tex-Mex Tifo to get games hyped up? Tyler, that's good, man. Shout out to our boy Tyler.
We're just gonna throw hot sauce at him, man.
And then, what are your guys? No, I don't. Score predictions for the Houston game, and I'll start off with you, Brian.
I think we're gonna have to. I mean, just like every road game so far, I mean, it's gonna be a grind. But I think Houston's definitely a team that is beatable at home. They've given up some leads at home, and I think we can walk away with 3 points and 6 points from the week. I'm gonna go 1-0. 1-0 us. I think Carroll gets another goal. I think he's gonna have 2 goals from the week.
Damn. You're either gonna be on it or you're gonna be way off this week, Brian.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lee, your score predictions, and I want to hear from people in the comment section too against Houston. What are we thinking?
Shit, on the road. I'm gonna go with 2-1. 2-1. Yep.
2-1 Charlotte.
Yes, of course. I always pick Charlotte because I'm a realist.
Nice. All right, and I'll tell you what my prediction is, and I got to be honest. Y'all know the integrity that Top Bin holds. So I think against Houston, we pull another win.
Get out of here.
2-1.
This is why Jorge doesn't drink before the shows, man. He doesn't know what he's even saying anymore.
Listen, we're gonna clap Austin at home 3-0. Then we're gonna go to a tough game in Houston, but we're definitely gonna pull it through this week, and we get 6 points, and we start building that momentum to be a playoff team. Then next month we'll add 1 or 2 more pieces, and we'll ride that wave to playoff. I'm calling it right now. 2 wins this week, a 6-pointer for Charlotte FC this week. A very, very crucial 2 games for this team with 2 very beatable teams. One because they're at home, and the other one I just think that we can beat. Right?
Just do the sweep of Texas, man.
The sweep of Texas.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
The sweep of Texas.
There he is again, man.
I love that photo.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that picture tomorrow, man.
You should.
Yeah, I will.
When we beat Chelsea 5-0. Listen, bro, we're gonna beat Chelsea 6-0.
Dude, we're gonna be at Carowinds, man.
Huh?
So we're gonna be at Carowinds.
Oh yeah, y'all are going to Carowinds. Come on, bro. Real supporters show up to every game, bro.
No, I'm not gonna go see Chelsea.
Dang.
Won't do it. Won't do it.
Not gonna happen. Awesome. All right, boys. We're gonna end the show a little bit early tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Lee, where can we find you at?
COT FC Fan TV on all the socials, YouTube, Twitter, Insta, that sort of thing. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna have We Are Austin TV. They're Austin's Fan TV guys on. They're already talking a lot of smack on Instagram and everything. So, they're calling us the Charlotte Panthers because we play in the stadium. They think they're going to come in here and clap us and all that. So, you guys, if you haven't seen the show, I appreciate it if you log in tomorrow and just talk all the junk you can to Austin because it's going to be nothing but banter all night, I feel.
It is. That's an episode that nobody wants to miss tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one, man.
Fan TV. We Are Austin TV.
Yeah.
The banter is about to be real.
It's going to be real.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah.
And Brian, where can we find you at, man?
Yeah, man. You can find me on Twitter at BA Maurer Media. You can also find my work on topbin90.com. We've got a few articles coming out this week, so stay tuned. I won't be here next week. I'll be on my anniversary trip, so I'll miss y'all next week after
priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
I'll let you decide what's more important.
Jorge's got to give me a raise.
I gotta get more money in your pocket. So everybody, make sure you go on the website 10 times a day.
Yeah. Triple click.
So, yeah. Right. And also, like you can find Top Bin on all our socials. like Brian said, we've got some more fire articles coming from you. We're breaking news all the time. And also, I've got a more in-depth interview with Quinn Mcneil and also Mackenzie Gaines, if y'all still want to watch him tomorrow, coming out on YouTube. So make sure you are following our socials. And everyone, thank you so much for joining tonight. This has been another episode of the MLS Corner. Woo-woo!